Humans, particularly of the regressive type, love their racism. It would be redundant to point out how people like Richard Spencer and other white supremacists are racist because it is abundantly clear they are, and normal people pay them no mind. Same with groups like the Black Panthers. What twists my tale is the racism, not even low-key, from the normal people of society, and how individuals will find racism where there is no racism. You love being a victim more than being honest or having any sort of grasp on reality. Now, let me tell you a tale of an SJW catch-22. A true damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Normally, I love dealing with the damned, but in this case, it is those doing the damning that I take umbrage with. It all starts back in 2016 with the announcements of the nominations for the Oscars. There was an absolute outcry at the racist nominations due to the lack of people of color, to use their terminology. The host of the Oscars that year, Chris Rock, a very famous black man with a net worth of roughly $70 million, decried the lack of opportunities in Hollywood. Never mind, he was the host of the biggest award show in Hollywood, period. Introspection is obviously not his strong suit. The main crux of their argument is that racial and ethnic minorities have a right to be represented on the silver screen along with their white counterparts. Setting aside for a moment that no one has a right to be portrayed in the media, these people forget that Hollywood is, above all else, a business, and any business is out to make money. The #OscarsSoWhite crowd love to point out the ethnicity breakdown of American society and say that those numbers ought to be portrayed on screen. Their numbers are basically as follows: 64% white, 12% black, 17% Hispanic, 5% Asian, and 3% other. Yes, those numbers add up to 101, but moving on. As I said, Hollywood is a business out to make money. Trust me, we have sold enough contracts to producers and executives to know that these people want money more than anything else. If the income distribution were equal across the board, then you could probably expect to see equal representation on screen. But it isn't. According to the Census Bureau, the median household income per race is as follows: Asians, $77,166, whites, $62,950, Hispanic, $45,148, and blacks at $36,898. Well, I wanted to see the actual spending power of each ethnic group because that would be some data that could skew how a business executive makes decisions about film funding. So exactly how much income are all the white people taking in versus the other races based on this data? I did some maths, and using the population percentage and the population of the U.S., rounded to 318 million, multiplied by the median income, and the numbers were quite telling. Whites clock in at $12.812 billion, followed by Hispanics at $2.44 billion, blacks at $1.408 billion, and the Asians bringing up the rear at $1.226 billion. Given these numbers, whites have 2.5 times the income compared to the other races combined, but more importantly, it shows that blacks have roughly 8% of the income. And would you look at that, the percentage of Oscar winners mind you, not just nominees, is about 10% black. I know correlation does not equal causation, but it is an interesting match. If you were a business executive and needed to fund a film that would generate money for your company, are you going to cast people who look like those with the least amount of disposable income to see your movie, or are you going to cast people who look like those most likely to spend money seeing your film? Whites have roughly 72% of the income and make up 84% of the winners, so they are overrepresented according to this very rough calculation. But the income numbers are only from 2015, whereas the Oscar info is from 1980 to 2015, so it isn't a direct comparison, it might be skewed a little. Shifting gears, the Oscars are supposed to be a meritocracy for actors in film. The Academy recognizes the best and brightest in the art of film that year. You can't expect an equal representation of every race for every year. Beating the bell curve simply does not work that way. Fast forward to Oscar 2017. It seems the pendulum may have swung, or the averages just happen to right themselves. Regardless of why, this year 7 actors of color were nominated out of a total of 20 for the main categories. You'd think with a representation of a third of the field they would be happy. But here's the dirty truth. They are never fucking happy. In this article by Olivia Trufant-Wong, she complains that the Oscars are still way too white. I just want to highlight one particular part. This year's group of 7 nominees of color in acting categories at the 2017 Oscars is better than most, but not entirely worthy of a pat on the back. Of the 7 non-white performers nominated for Oscars this year, there is only one who is not black. For fuck's sake, you live in a predominantly white country where the majority of the money is with white people due to the fact that they make up the majority of the country. This is where I refer to my earlier statements about Hollywood being a business. The holier-than-thou attitude she has is astounding. Not entirely worthy of a pat on the back. Fucking hell. Makes me want to call up death and have a chat about an early reaping. On top of articles like this, the average regressive took to social media to present their frustrations at still being marginalized somehow, even though they were overrepresented. White supremacy using black people to stay rich and relevant. They didn't include blacks because they wanted to, they included blacks because they had to. No, they didn't. I think the past few years of having almost no black actors in the nominations would have made that clear to you. Marion Sim Gaines wrote, "Please, sounds like they threw us a bone. Like 1 year of awards will make up for the other 88. Like 1 black president means racism is over. It will never be over as long as people like you keep talking about it. If you pick a scab, it never heals. While you guys are celebrating, they are literally planning Christian crusades," declared Tierra Ciari. Citation needed. "They gave black people meaningless awards and saved the meat and potatoes for white people," wrote Xavier Anderson, apparently unaware that Moonlight had beat La La Land for Best Picture, one of the largest Oscar categories. Yet black people will see these tokens from white people as progress. Shake my head. You humans truly define yourselves by your misery. The SJW crowd takes particular glee in being a victim. This just doesn't make sense to me. Life, here, on this planet, on this plane of existence, is supposed to be happy. You can make it good, but most of you have chosen to be miserable out of sheer idiocy and some sense of unearned guilt. Get the fuck over yourselves and move on with life. You are not responsible for the past or for the actions of others. Don't like racism? Don't be a racist douchebag. End of problem. One last thought. There is a black awards show put on by BET called the BET Awards. I don't hear a single peep about people proclaiming the racist and divisive nature of an award show made by the Black Entertainment Television Network. I guarantee you, if there was a white entertainment television network, it would be burnt to the ground within a week, and the founders lynched from the nearest oak tree, while the SJW crowd would claim the dessert for being white. Humanity's insistence on suffering makes my head hurt. Get it together, fuckwits. Via cum diabolus, amici me.